As expected, Nicola Sturgeon has stabbed Kate Forbes in the back.
But anybody standing to be First Minister has to expect that their positions and their policies and their outlook on things will be scrutinised.
What kind of a legacy is being left for now, given what Kate Forbes has said on progressive politics in a socially progressive Scotland?
Scotland is a socially progressive country, and I believe that is majority opinion, and whoever is First Minister, the views that they have on all sorts of issues matter, because people look to their First Minister to see someone who will stand up for them and their rights, and the job of First Minister on a daily basis involves responding to things based on your positions, your values, your outlooks. I would encourage all members to take the contest very seriously, to think about our responsibility as the governing party of Scotland, and also the party that people look to shape a picture of what an independent Scotland would look like.
A lot of what Nicola Sturgeon is saying there, I actually agree. I agree with her. People's values do matter. If you're weighing up any sort of political candidate, then you look at their views and you decide on that basis. That's really important. You choose accordingly. I've got no problem with that at all. Nicola Sturgeon's got a vision for the SNP, which is shared very broadly within the SNP, I think. And for Scotland, socially progressive, she calls it. From Nicola Sturgeon's point of view, Kate Forbes doesn't fit in with that, so she doesn't think she would be a good choice. I mean, Nicola Sturgeon actually thinks that Kate Forbes' views on some things are abhorrent, but that's politics. That's fine. And even if someone says, I hold this view, but it won't influence the way I'll form policy, still, even the fact that gives some insight into someone's personal philosophy I think that's a very valid reason for deciding to support them or not. Because as I said before, this is not an issue of religion, of discrimination against Christians. It's an issue of looking at someone's values, principles, philosophy, and making a decision on that basis. Now, the Catholic Church, the Free Church of Scotland, they've come to Kate Forbes' defence in public statements, which I think is really good. Their message have tended to focus on the please tolerate Christians, which I don't think is the ideal message. I don't think it's the thing to focus on. I mean, in terms of tolerating Christians, it's basically too late. A party such as the SNP has a philosophy and a set of principles that are antithetical to Christian teaching. Once a party is in that situation, asking them to tolerate people who stand against some of their most core principles, that's not a helpful message. Why should a political party tolerate someone who disagrees with them on very important issues? Now, I think some people seem to treat political parties as though they're covered by the Equality Act. Political parties provide a service. The service is they let you be a candidate and let you go up through the ranks to be their leader. And if they discriminate against people on the basis of their religious beliefs, therefore, they're breaking the Equality Act, so they shouldn't be allowed to do that. It's that sort of thinking that a lot of people seem to have. But that just doesn't apply to political parties. It doesn't apply. So instead of saying, please don't pick on Christians, I think a more positive message would be to say, Kate Forbes has said this, and we agree. And this is why we agree, and this is why we think it's a positive contribution to political discussion. I mean, it's not just that we want core values to be tolerated. We want to put them forward as a contribution to political debate. Like marriage, for example, a really powerful message can be delivered about the benefits that a culture of marriage could produce in society. But instead, the line's more, I might believe in marriage, but that's just me, don't worry, it won't affect my politics. But in the Scottish Family Party, we care much too much about children to be able to say that. I mean, Kate Forbes replied to John Swinney. John Swinney had basically said that she wasn't fit to be First Minister, and he said he's a Christian as well. John Swinney, of course, is the special sort of Christian who promotes porn to children in schools. But Kate Forbes responded to him. Now, when John Swinney did that, I would be 99% certain he was acting on the instruction of Nicola Sturgeon. My impression has always been that I don't think John Swinney really has any original thoughts of his own. He just does what's expedient, he does as he's told, and I think that would be the case there. I heard that Kate Forbes has employed a PR advisor. That's a bit concerning, isn't it? Because any PR advisor will say to her, shut up about any of these controversial opinions. If they ask you again, deny them, refuse to answer, and apologise as much as you can. That's what a PR advisor would say. So I hope she doesn't listen to a PR advisor too much. It's been in the news as well that Kate Forbes disgracefully has been associated with Brian Souter, been involved with events that he's organised, etc. Again, just trying to smear there. And the lines come through again that Kate Forbes made a pro-life comment. Well, it's prayed a pro-life prayer at an event organised by Brian Souter. Now Kate said, oh, it's a prayer. A prayer's private. You shouldn't be looking at what people pray. Again, I would disagree with that. But if someone prayed, those pesky black people, I wish they'd all go home. I pray they all go home. Obviously, if someone then said, oh, it's just a prayer, prayers are private, well, not. If you pray that publicly, it gives an insight into your values. So Kate Forbes' pro-life prayer gave an insight into her pro-life values. And if people don't like that, if people are concerned about that, then they're quite justified in saying they're not going to support her. Again, that's just democracy in action. So what's going to happen next? I think the media will find new ways to attack Kate Forbes. I don't think they're going to dig up skeletons in the closet. But I think there are still the hard questions which can be pressed harder. Do you think homosexual sex is immoral? I mean, Kate dodged that last time. They'll keep on at her about that, I believe. The premarital sex thing, they will say, do you think it's wrong for people to have sex outside marriage? So I think an intelligent interviewer could try and pin it down more on those. Similarly with the pro-life views as well, an intelligent interviewer will be able to pin it down and say, okay, we're not talking about what you would do as First Minister. We're not talking about any legislation. Your personal view, do you think abortion is wrong? So I say she'll be put on the spot again and again and again. Now, Kate Forbes is widely regarded as the open and honest candidate. She's describing herself as the open and honest candidate, which to some degree she has been, but to a significant degree as well, she hasn't been open about her personal beliefs. And I think in the coming weeks, she will be repeatedly put on the spot, and it will get to the point I'm expecting where it will be she'll either have to deny what she believes, or her campaign will be very much undermined by actually admitting what she believes. That's what I expect. Maybe I'm wrong. We shall see. Now, you might be thinking I've been talking about Kate Forbes quite a bit in the last few days. What about Humza Yousaf? I mean, to be honest, I don't feel any great need to be criticising Humza Yousaf at the moment or presenting any arguments relating to him. But having said that, we are going to publish a box set of videos about Humza Yousaf on the YouTube channel, maybe on Saturday night. Just a compilation of the several videos we've made about Humza Yousaf's behaviour and attitudes in the past. So look out for that. That'll be quite long, but if you've got a while to sit down and have a listen to that, you might find it quite enlightening, and the prospect of Humza Yousaf as First Minister quite terrifying. But as far as we're concerned, if he becomes leader, that would just be such an amazing open goal for, basically every other party in Scotland. So let's see. In the meantime, do join the Scottish Family Party, and I'll see you soon.